Welcome back once again, ladies and gentlemen, to the World Championship Series StarCraft 2 Global Finals. We have one more match to bring you tonight. It's going to be an elimination match with some Zerg players. I'm Nathanius, joined by my two European brothers, Rotterdam and Todd. How are you guys doing?
I thought you were going to say my two favorite people on the couch.
Oh, we're already back to that.
People on the couch.
I'm glad he pays attention.
Yeah.
I'm glad he pays attention. Well, Kev, you're not my favorite person on the couch. My favorite person in general. Todd, I'm sorry.
Wow.
All right, I think we're done here. Let's get ready.
Yeah.
ZvZ.
Yeah, ZvZ. How excited are you guys for this Zerg versus Zerg?
Pretty excited, actually. You know, it's North America against Europe, which Fear Dragon keeps hyping as like Europe apparently is like collapsing, but it didn't go too bad in the last series for Europe. And I think it might continue here with Serral. I don't want to count True out because I did that against Innovation, and he made it a really good series.
He made it a lot more close than I think some of us were predicting in that match. But yes, it is going to be Serral going up against True. Serral and True. Man, today, when we talk about the results of the elimination matches, we didn't really have those upsets. We got a little bit close to the few of those series. I mean, Kellezer took a map off Dark. True took that game off of Innovation. But the players that qualified from the Korean regions held strong. Which of these two players do you think has an actual chance to make it out in a potential elimination match tomorrow?
I'd still say Serral. I still really believe in Serral's ability to play at the absolute highest level and to really compete with guys like Innovation, with guys like Gumiho. I don't think Serral's series against Gumiho was bad by any means. That game on Mac Depot, I think it was great. It was awesome to watch for all of us. He was behind, made a great comeback, but then a couple of barbecues happened here and there, and then suddenly had nothing to work with anymore. But this is an incredibly scary series for Serral. True is obviously playing really good StarCraft today, played awesome against Innovation, and I mean the last time these two went up against each other was at WCS Valencia, and back then True took him out 3-1. So if you're a Serral fan, which I am, you have to be worried.
Yeah, and of course we just saw the updated groups as we get ready for this matchup of Serral versus True. Innovation and Gumiho knocking them both down respectively as they will play in the winner match to see who makes it to the top 8 first out of this group tomorrow. But Serral up against True. ZvZ, it's going to be a best-of-3 tournament life on the line. Of course, the loser still gets $14,000, so it's not the worst thing to ever happen.
Yeah, definitely not. I wouldn't mind, you know, cheeky 14 grand. Yeah, Roddy just referred to
Todd, you've won enough in your Warcraft career.
We've seen that esports earnings listing, Todd.
Yeah, Roddy just referred to that one time they met in Valencia. Actually, that was super interesting because True was playing with a lot of Mutas, and he was doing weird stuff. Like on Sequencer, he went into Lurkers, and then there was a time he stayed into Mutas, and he was doing attacks a little bit everywhere, and basically kind of doing True things, like making the game chaotic, sneaking in Zerglings, morphing them into Banelings, blowing up drones, and that's what brought him success. But you have to feel like Serral, he's on this ascension. And I'm going to keep on saying it every tournament until he finally does it, but like he's bound to have some sick results here and there. Like I feel like a top 4 here for Serral in this tournament would be justified. And that means he has to win there and then he has to win the next match as well.
I couldn't agree more. There are still some people out there who call him like ladder Serral, and I think that's so weird. I was like, the guy got 2nd place in Yon Chopping. He got top 8 at every single WCS event. They make it sound like he loses in the group stages or something. It's like, no, he got 3 quarterfinals and a 2nd place. We just expect more of him because we know how incredibly good he can be. But he has already shown us that he can perform offline.
And we had a tweet come in. Innovation wins, but holy cow, can the haters stop doubting how good True is? How many times does he have to do this from Fear Dragon 64?
But did he take out Tosis?
Fear Dragon, it's always fun. It's always fun to roast you a little bit. You do a lot for the community, my man. But Innovation is that good. And I went into that match knowing that Innovation was going to win as a fan.
Yeah, but we all expected it to be a beatdown.
Yeah,
I think that's kind of what he means.
Okay,
right?
that's fair.
Yeah, he was. I mean, we were all expecting that to be the most one-sided series of the day. The opposite happened. That has been the coolest series of the day, pretty much. This is a really hard series, man. If True plays as well as he did against Inno, obviously Serral is going to be in a lot of trouble, and True has shown us some great ZvZ in the past as well.
Is it fair to say that in like a matchup like ZvZ, his ability and his mastery of using a lot of like Ling Bane styles that he does in every matchup, this kind of gives him a bit of an edge in terms of like micro engagements here, right?
Yeah, but Serral is usually a bit of a wizard. Like he always gets the right amount of drones to units to make sure that he's safe. But even watching, like I just rewatched like the last series, and that was just so weird because True, it feels like he was playing super well. Serral wasn't playing too bad himself, but he just wasn't finding any success. True somehow. Maybe he pushed Serral out of his comfort zone by using a lot of Mutas in all of the games, and Serral wasn't used of that much, which almost sounds weird, but now Serral has been on top of the Korean ladder for a while. We've talked a lot about that. I've played video games for a long time. The guy who's on rank 1 of the ladder, at some points, will get some big results. And I feel like this has to be now here for Serral.
Yeah, incredibly big moment for Serral, though, because if he doesn't, I mean, I think we all know that he is incredibly good offline as well, but it is time that he makes a big splash offline.
And this is that opportunity to make that big splash. Ladies and gentlemen, the game is ready. Let's head to the casters. It's time for True versus Serral.
What's up, guys? We are Tasteosis, and we're going to be wrapping the day up with one more ZvZ. This time, I think it's going to be a little bit longer than the last one we casted Artosis.
You think it's going to be longer, not shorter?
I think it should be.
Okay.
Do you have any predictions for this one?
Okay, so True versus Serral. That's a very hard one because True, just overall his style lends itself to playing a good ZvZ. Of course, Serral is pretty monstrous in the matchup. But I don't know, man. Serral kind of disappointed me against Gumiho. I'm almost feeling True here.
Yeah, okay, I'm on the same page as you. I think Serral's really, really good, and he's going to deliver some great games. I'm just slightly leaning towards True.
Yeah.
True is a pretty terrifying ZvZ player, but then again, Serral being so dominant on ladder, especially in mirror matchups, he's going to have to be pretty damn solid. But let's go and intro our players here. In the upper right, in the blue, it's Serral. And his opponent down here in the bottom left. In the red, it's True. It's True, Artosis.
It's True. I hope his Banelings are true this game if he is to succeed and go forward.
But when you see someone like Serral who's been so dominant on the ladder, I think the real obstacle is not are they good enough to win the tournament? It's can they get their nerves and their mind in the right spot. So I think with every tournament that passes that Serral attends, he's become that much wiser, that much better of a player.
And don't forget, he's still the youngest player here.
That's right.
Obviously he's played StarCraft 2 for a long time. You have to get to this level.
Yeah.
But he doesn't have the same type of experience that True has.
Yeah, very true. So going into this game, let's see how they're going to open in a best of 3 like this. We'll sometimes have them open up with one build, but then really try to mix it up a little bit later on. So you can't get a proper read over here. True, I always go back to the time that we were casting him in Montreal. Tearing through everybody.
Oh, absolutely.
Like a complete and total beast.
He bashed
at
that tournament.
He bashed him, the one that we casted at that Montreal tournament. It was just almost hilarious, actually, to be honest, because he took down each player so fast and in such a straightforward, aggressive fashion. And we had many other great games in that tournament. But then whenever you look back into what's going on in True's part of the bracket, he's just tearing through people at a record pace.
Yeah, I mean, he is a very strong player. He plays kind of a funky off style that you don't think about with Zergs too often. So people underestimate True, but he showed great games against Innovation for his fans, of course, because that's what Korean players do.
That's right. Great games for the fans, Tosis.
Yeah, but will he show continued great games here against Serral, knocking him out? I mean, Serral is one of the last 2 Europeans in this tournament, right?
That's right.
We've already lost a couple. We lost Snoot earlier on, and we did just see a laser beat Kelliger, so he's still there. Still a big hope. Got top 4 last year, but Serral was kind of the one where everyone's like, okay, I mean, Serral can make a big splash here along with Neve this year.
Yeah, these European Zergs, man, they're super scary. Really, most of what I'm placing my predictions on is the way that we saw True perform earlier against Innovation, which was just next level. And of all the people to do that well against Innovation, I just feel like he's scary. Now, granted, ZvZ is a very different matchup. The rules and the parameters of it are not the same as like a ZVT, for instance. But I just feel like if True can overall play that solid of a game, I don't see why he couldn't do the same here.
Oh, absolutely. Now, both players taking a pretty quick third base. It is Mech Depot, just such a long map, so it does make sense. Baneling Nest coming up on both sides. A little bit of pressure here from Serral, who does finish up his speed first, but very shortly here, we're going to see True finish up as well.
Okay, we have some links coming in now to hit the main. Meanwhile, there's another attack over here at the third. We're going to have to see if True can keep enough drones alive while still keeping this third up and running. Going back down into the main now. The Lings remain. He's going to have to clean that last one up. But up here at the top, this hatchery cannot be saved. And it... Whoa, not canceled. Wow, just picked up.
Gosh.
That's actually really
That's a big deal right there. And
I was holding my breath to be like, boom, canceled, and then it actually died. Okay.
Yeah.
Huge misplay there. And now drones are being used here to try to help defend, but Serral is killing it, man. Look at this.
Seriously, so much damage actually dealt here. Just canceling that third base is a gigantic move. And True, getting his lair immediately thereafter, I wonder what his follow-up is going to be. It's not like he has some giant amount of banked up gas or anything. So what's his aim with this lair?
Well, he's going to have to do something with it.
Like,
right here, we're in a play situation where one player's teching, the other one's going on 2 bases. Serral's continuing to lean in on his opponent. We have 3 Banelings coming up. 2 Banelings can connect to try to deny that, but they actually end up slipping by. A lot of Lings are still picked off there. I don't think Serral's going to breach this position any further, but he's still, putting on a good amount of pressure.
All right, so Serral throwing down his Roach Horn at this point. He has the 3 bases. He's kept the pressure on for so long. And now we have to see what True's plan is. His lair finished up. He doesn't have a lot of gas, and he's pretty well behind right now. So, it doesn't feel like he can go into a Spire. It doesn't feel like maybe a Nidus once he gets the gas for it.
Yeah, but there's a degree of just predictability with a Nidus, right?
Yeah.
It's a desperate situation right now for True. Serral, I think in his own mind, is saying, as long as I can play a clean game from here, I should be fine.
Yeah.
I just do what I know. I do what I practice at home. And by the way, probably a huge morale boost at this point in time for Serral. It might not kick in until he wins this game, assuming he does, in fact, do that. But he's pretty much kicking ass at the start of of this series.
Well, he's definitely got a big lead. Now, True finally throws down a Spire, but his layer's been done for a very, very long time. So this Spire is nowhere near as quick as he would generally like it. And look at that. The pressure from Serral remains.
That's right. Some Ling poke-ins here from True. But the counterattack, once again, actually, I guess this is really more to scout and try to identify what his opponent's doing here. He does scout through. And
yeah, he's going to see the Spire.
There he goes. This is just a very frustrating moment here. Everything seems to be going Serral's way. Now, True is a pretty tenacious player, and despite being in a bad position, hold up. Okay, not going to connect. You got to get 2 of those to kill off those drones. There is another attack coming up here from the top, but a well-placed Baneling could end up denying this. Okay, great job there by True. This is the kind of play he needed to have. He's going to come in now, get a nice surround on this 1 queen. Some more Lings coming up to try to take out some drones.
Hey, getting some queens here and some drones would be very nice to help those mutas out. Of course, Serral knows it's on the way, so already has some spores up. He has a decent queen count as well, and it looks like he wants to Nidus. This is a great response here from Serral. When he gets that Nidus up with the queens and roaches coming out, there's just no way. How do you hold on there as True?
Yeah, well, it's going to be a really good pin situation here where the mutas can't properly be utilized because the threat of losing your main base is just too high. Ling's now backing up. He's going to see that the mutas are now out. Probably know anyways just by the timing of the game, but just getting into their confirmation before they've even come across the map. Another thing working out for Serral. And with the Nidus play, let's see, is he just going to put that in the center, lower center right, or is he going to put it at the top?
Yeah, the top,
okay,
I think.
Top it is.
Because all he needs is for it to finish and have, well, I mean, it will always finish, but finish and then have time for it to pop out a few units, right? Once the queens and roaches are actually through, that's an army. This is like a death ball that's not going to be stopped by 10 mutas and 8 zerglings.
So conventionally, when you use mutas, they have to try to stay back and defend. You can win a lot of fights where units can't attack air, but to have a fast-track lane set up here to try to put pressure on the third is a big play coming from Serral. And enough queens out here that Zerg can deliver the proper anti-air where the mutas really don't do a lot.
That is so many queens right now. Oh my god, a huge amount. A second Nidus coming up.
Oh my god, Serral is looking great.
Even throwing down the spores to make 100% sure nothing's going to happen. Now, True going to do a Ling counterattack. I like the idea. Trying to get something done, but these mutas, oh man, being destroyed.
Yeah, the mutas are completely nullified here. They have no real utility in a game like this. And the push is continuing to come forward right now. And since this creep's all connected, he can basically leapfrog spores to get up to the front of the base. True is going to have to rely on ground if he can hold this.
Now this is pretty brutal right now. Serral looks like he's going to be able to finish this game. Some spines going up in the natural, so True not giving up quite yet. Wants to see if he can hold on. So many transfusions actually available here, though.
Yeah, he transfused for days, and the spores can keep coming forward. It looks like there's still a decent amount of mutas, but the problem is the Queens are doing so much damage. They just have a better position with the range and everything else. The Spines finishing, though, is the real story. He manages to get that done, and the Spines comboed with the Mutalisks and the few Queens that are there might be enough to buy time, but the looming threat of this push is just too much. And by the way, Serral was going for a kill move here, not to try to get slightly more ahead, because he never took out that third base. He's just trying to come in here and end this game as quickly as possible.
Some really awesome transfusions went down on those Spines, but it wasn't enough at the end of the day here. The Mutas all getting picked off by the Queens. Not a lot of energy left on Serral's Queens, but the number is just too high, and GG is called. Serral just destroying True in game number 1.
Yeah, True completely shut down. A bumpy start, but you give Serral that lead, he knows how to finish him off. And I think True is going to be feeling the heat.
He certainly is. Now, does he open up more aggressively himself? It was Serral's aggression, his Lings coming in and forcing a kill on that third base that gave him this huge edge. So I feel like True needs to kind of go to his roots right now.
Well, here's the problem, Artosis. There's no more mistakes allowed for True. He's playing for his tournament life. And Serral is going to be feeling most likely very confident after winning that first game in a fashion like that. We're going to be hopping into game number 2 momentarily. I don't think that the mistakes from True were necessarily strategic at the start. It seemed like he just wasn't quite fast enough.
Well,
I mean, some of this may be due to fatigue from that insane series against Innovation, but this is the nature of the tournament, man. You got to deliver on the days you're playing.
And you know what? He really needs to deliver this time, because this is his second year in a row at BlizzCon, and last year was disappointing. This year is looking like it might be the same here, getting knocked out immediately by Serral if he loses one more map.
Serral just processing what happened in that last game. You can see True trying to get back in the zone now. He's saying, okay, I know I'm better than that, especially that early game. Like, I know that's not supposed to happen. I'm going to have to clear my head out and just focus and do what I know. You know, but the problem with ZvZ is it's a matchup that's played on such a knife's edge.
Yeah.
1 or 2 misclicks, and things can snowball.
Well, they certainly did in that game, and Serral just with a perfect finishing move with the Nidus play, rallying in. True almost held. You know, you got to give him props where props are due, and his defense was strong. Getting those Spines with a natural was very clutch.
Yeah.
Hopefully he can have a better game this time, though.
All right, guys, we're now going to go into game number 2, Serral versus True, a fight for WCS survival at this point in time in our tournament. Now introducing our players. In the upper left, in the blue, he is Serral. And his opponent here in the bottom right, in the red, he is True.
Okay, it looks like True is going to get very aggressive this time. Quick gas, quick pool. Definitely going to be going for some Ling Bane action early on against Serral. Will Serral go for a hatchery first? That could make it so that True can just take this game early.
Let's find out, man.
Well, we're finding out.
It's one of the facts about ZvZ in general is that you could definitely lose quite quickly to just a bad build choice.
Yeah, sometimes this happens. And
it's True going to the super quick pool here, and Serral is, in fact, going to go for hatchery first. We're still waiting for that pool to come down.
Yeah, this pool very late. Going to be starting it around the time that True's actually finishes. So this is a very good situation that we're seeing for True.
Yeah, the greater the distance is between the 2 pool times finishing, that player who made that later pool, they could die super fast. And fortune is on True's side, but let's not forget he lost that last game through execution, or failed execution.
Okay, it's pretty easy to execute Zerglings versus no Zerglings, so I think he's going to be able to do something right now. These Lings going straight across the map. Sometimes you see people pool Zerglings at this point, but he'll at least run around the Overlords, I would think, right? Never mind.
Apparently not, man. No. He's going to beeline it here.
It's like, hi, I'm rushing you.
I'm hoping this works.
Get ready, Serral. Here I come. I'm going to get you, Serral.
I'm pissed about that hatchery in the last game. So he's coming up now. Serral knows he's in a bad position. He has to try to have like the best control ever here. So True decides to target the hatchery, not going to try to come up here and get drones or anything. it's going to be very, very tough to actually save this. Again, when the pool finishes early, you also can get Ling's speed more quickly. Lings with speed are always going to beat Zerglings without speed.
Well, right now the drones coming down with these Zerglings, some popping out of the natural hatch. Good micro here from Serral. Pulls those Lings back for a moment. Some Banelings being morphed, so he pushes back as hard as he can on these Lings. More Lings coming up from True, engaging a little bit, but as these Banelings pop out, if one comes out, oh my god.
That's super scary when you're actually fighting right around those cocoons. The Lings are going to come up. It is one Baneling. We need to watch and see where that's going to connect. He's going to move those Lings a little bit away.
Oh my god, that Baneling definitely could get a good connect. It doesn't for the time being, and this micro from Serral is really on point.
Yeah, Serral shutting True down at least so far, but the rush is not done yet. True is pulling a few more Lings up and a few more Banes as well, just outside this expansion location.
Did you see that? 3 Lings and a Queen. All that dies here for Serral while he kills a Bane and 13 Lings.
Serral, again, with the cleanest execution.
Yeah.
And True seems to be really rocky, to be honest. I know he had a great series against Innovation, but right now this seems to be Serral's day. Now he set up Lings in 2 different positions, and we're going to see if the defensive setup here from Serral is going to be enough. He's actually coming around here to try to shut down some of these Lings that are trying to hit him from behind. See, the Lings with speed can easily shut down, well, until speed finishes. They can easily shut down a Ling that does not have speed. So they're on even footing at least with the Ling upgrades.
True is actually taking a hatchery, trying to expand behind this, but he's been 5 to 6 drones down like the entire game. So this is a very hard position for him to come back against. I'm kind of surprised with how he's doing this. I think he just got out microed a little bit and kind of chickened out of all-inning at that point.
Yeah, well, I mean, imagine what's going on in Serral's or True's thoughts right now. The way this could actually end. Serral now pouncing on the hatchery. True trying to come out here and bait him into picking a fight on the ramp. And now the moment that True turns around, Serral goes right after that hatchery. True may have hatched enough Lings to actually win this fight, especially with the Queen. Used to drive those Lings back, but again, the pressure is on. Worker count right now. It's 24 drones here for Serral. It's 13 for True.
Oh, God, that is really painful. And look how True wanted to come back. He was going to go for a Baneling drop, it looks like, but the Queens come out and find it, snipe out that Overlord, and Serral is ahead in so many ways.
Serral, it's the same thing as the last game, guys. He knows if he does what he practiced, like he has the answer, he just has to bring it there. And True basically desperately trying at this point in time to figure out some kind of solution to try to catch Serral off guard. And he's also, it looks like he's waiting for a possible counterattack. If Serral tries to end this too quickly, he wants to run in. But already Serral immediately just turtling up. This guy is ready.
Yeah, he is prepared for absolutely everything at this point. Oh, even turns around in time so that Baneling doesn't kill all his Lings. Going to be able to even deal some damage to the already stifled economy of True. Serral just putting on a clinic for ZvZ right now.
Problem is, True just doesn't have the assets to try to have counters and also defend his base. The low number of drones is already getting lower. 17 workers now. These Lings continuing to run around True's attention, just trying to keep his workers alive as Serral grows bigger, faster, stronger.
Losing 6 drones there. I mean, when you've been down 10, 12 drones for the past couple of minutes, to lose 6, this is like an unforgivable thing that's occurred to True. How do you even come back? You're playing against superior tech, superior army, superior economy, superior micro so far.
Yeah, again, comes in here, assassinates one more drone. Notice how he's splitting, hitting one more drone down there on the natural, and now coming into the main. True. True doing his very best, doing his damnedest to try to stabilize in this game.
Oh, man.
Look at that Freudian slip. That Freudian slip that happened right there. I'm calling him Sue.
Dark is just killing him, isn't he? Like.
So, as the game goes on, upgrades are going to be on the side here of Serral as well as Tech. He's taking a third base. True is trying to squeeze out some kind of a lead here. Maybe just shutting down this hatchery is one way, but the number of roaches and queens makes that a questionable decision to actually go full on onto the hatch.
Well, 1-1 roaches with this much supply, third base being taken. I'm really trying to kind of figure out how True can force a comeback here, and not too much is coming to mind, to be honest.
Yeah, there's not. I don't really see an opportunity here for True. Now, True knows this could be his last game in the WCS Global Finals, so he's going to do what he has to do. He's going to try to stay alive, try to make this last, and see if he can somehow hammer together a solution against Serral. Already 88 supply to True's 58.
Okay, he's adding a bunch of spines, which makes me think he might be going for a Spire. I mean, something, I would like to see him do something very creative. Okay, he does go Spire. So, like, this isn't a bad idea, right? If you get a ton of static D, get your mutas out, control the map some, and they can't break your spines, that's a reasonable way to approach this.
It's true, because the last time when he lost that game, it was that he was trying to take a third base, almost trying to have your cake and eat it there. And there was not enough spines there to really defend the natural. So this minor adjustment may give True a little bit more longevity this time around. True's actually going to come up. He has some links just outside of Serral's base. These are only going to be used if Serral tries to leave. These links can try to come in here. It's a cheap and effective way to get a lead is if you just come in and hit the workers when there's nothing there to defend it.
Yeah.
The Overseer here from Serral is going to scout and confirm the Spire, but really the Spire, it's not so much about the element of surprise, it's the utility of having Mutalisks and being able to hit certain angles from
it. And you're forcing your opponent to get some anti-air and stuff, right?
That too,
It's not like he can start making roaches and ever catch up to that roach count, so he needs to kind of force weird tech paths out of Serral. Now, what I would like to see from True after these 8 mutas, to be honest, Tasteless, I feel like if he goes into Lurker, that might be the only chance in the universe to take Serral. But Serral right now pulling the trigger, running right by the spines.
This is a pretty bold move here. The drones are going to have to try to block the ramp here. The mutas have not hatched yet, which means True is just in an overall bad position. We see this third hatchery most definitely going to be shut down. Now the mutas are going to have to clean up this location behind the hatchery. The problem is the drones can't even go back and mine. They can't do anything until this has been taken care of, because losing any workers at this point in time is just not okay for True.
Okay, he loses 6 of those not okay to lose workers, but he cleans up all of the roaches that attacked him. He keeps his third base alive, so this was at least a small victory, I would say, for True. This was like the first step in what is probably going to have to be a 6-step comeback.
I agree, man. I mean, if you look at it really, I don't think it was necessary for Serral to make that play, but it wasn't wrong. Maybe it's not the safest move, but still, the growth rate here from Serral is pretty damn scary. True is going to have that third base up, though. You have to have that in ZvZ if you want to go on past 10 minutes.
Yeah. So Serral is getting a really big economy. He's up at over 70 drones. He's got fantastic upgrades. Where does True go from this situation? Baneling speed. Okay, so he's going kind of all in on this strategy.
Yeah. This is a moment where you're going to hit at a very specific time when you have enough, and the overwhelming amount of damage that happens in a very, very, very short period of time may tip the scale in your favor.
Yeah, the upgrades he's fighting against, like, he just kind of can't catch up against that. The economy he's fighting against, he can't catch up against that either. But with Baneling speed, if you just suddenly, like, kill all the Hydras, let's say, you have a chance. You have a real chance to win that game from there. So I'm really liking what I'm seeing. But this infestation pick coming out for Serral, I think, is a very good idea. If he gets a few infestors, that's good, not only against mutas, but against incoming Banes.
Very true. These mutas are actually almost stuck over here. If he gets the Hydras at the right angle, yeah, he can actually hit from the side. Fortunately, no kills. There's one HP muta over there. But as the mutas are leaving, Serral is actually heading towards True's base here, getting more confirmation about what exactly True's up to. And this is a really bad engage here, not cost-effective at all. These mutas getting whittled down, losing that air asset. Unfortunate moment for True. And again, this hatchery, bruised from an earlier attack, may go down too quickly, Artosis.
Yeah, he's going to have a hard time holding on right here. The Baneling's trying to find those Hydras, but they get split beautifully. The Mutalist count very low, trying to kill off the rest of these Hydras, but I don't know if that's even going to be possible. The third base falls, and Serral has killed True.